Hello, my name's John. These are some Space Marine Intercessors, these are some 40mm bases, and you're watching War Games, Models and Other Hobbies. Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I am going to be making some bases for my Space Marine Intercessors. These are the push fit ones that were originally came out a few years ago. You'll notice this one's got a little conversion, as they will remember of the Death Watch for a little while. And what I want to do is make some scenic bases rather than flying bases. They're kind of landing or just taking off, that kind of thing. Now what I have to do that with as an experiment is some of these floor sections from one of the train sets from Games Workshop. Now I used these when I was making the base of my Gene Stealer Patriarch, which has been in a few of my videos in the past. I'll leave a little link to the video of me cutting it out in the description. But what I want to do at the moment is use up a lot of the bits of my bits box. So things that are just kind of knocking around, not quite sure what to do with them. And I thought it'd be quite nice to make a few bases that I could then mount these models on. So just as a little precursor to the idea that I've had, what I'm wanting to do is have this masonry, this rubble, sitting on the base, and these models jumping off it or landing on it, that kind of thing. So what I'm going to do is cut the pieces off, mount them on the base, have a look the best position for the models, and I'm either going to be drilling and pinning or just gluing straight to them. I'm not sure if this is going to work. It might look not that good, I don't know. But that's the whole point of the video, is making these, seeing how they turn out and so on. So first things first, I'm going to use this piece here and I want to cut off the bottom section here. So what I'm going to do for that, I'm just going to mark it up with this ruler and my scalpel. And because unfortunately my little mini bandsaw has a broken blade and I haven't replaced it yet, I'm going to use a different tool to cut that. Fortunately, I have my little multi-tool and a cutting disc, so I will put that on and cut that out. Right, so now I've cut through that much, I can snap that by hand, and what I'm going to do, I'll just gently knock off that burr that's been made. Always be careful when you're using tools like that, just in case bits fly off and everything. Make sure you got safety goggles. In that case I didn't, I was wearing my safety squint from behind the camera. So do as I say, not as I do. Okay, so with that sitting there, what I want to do is cut off at an angle along here, and I'm going to use my clippers for that. And again, always be wary of little bits flying around the place. So remember your safety squint. And then I want to look at the angle this is going to sit at. So I'm going to pick up one of these models at random, and I'm going to look at how this is going to sit on. So what I want these to be is the edges of reinforced wall sections or something like that. Although they're floor sections, I want to use them as kind of collapsed walls for these to sit on. And it is a kind of, there we go, okay. Yeah, that's where this one, I think that one will sit just like that. Okay, so now let me get my trusty liquid glue. And first things first, let's put plenty along the bottom of the plastic here. Now I don't mind if it's uneven or anything. I'm going to put enough glue on it to start melting this plastic. And what I'll probably do after the glue's kind of gone off and everything is I'll do some sculpting with some green stuff on the base to add a little bit more detail. But I'll do that probably in another video rather than adding too much to the time of this video. So there is the first one in place. So looking at the bits, this one doesn't really have a kind of a rough edge that I want to use. This has just got the circle kind of cut out for the old base. This one, however, this is a complete section, nothing kind of been cut out of this one. I want to do a cut along there and a cut along there, I think. So I'm not going to worry about marking this out now. I'm just going to go straight on and use the tool. Now, something I really like about my little multi-tool, it has an auto cutout if you put too much pressure on it. So you're less likely to break any of the discs or anything you're using when cutting. Just noticed that was moving slightly while the glue was drying, so what I will do is just put some blue tack behind it to hold it in place. And what I'm probably going to do, let's grab a bit of this old base here. I might put that behind this just as a little bit of extra rubble. So let's just cut some of these bits out. I'm not being too precious about this. This is something that I'll add to later on. Like I said, that bit just flew way off camera. There it is. So what I'm looking for with this one, I want to have that sitting on there, so let's pinch some of these off. So yeah, the reason why I'm doing this with these scraps is I have a massive bits box. I've been collecting Games Workshop stuff for over 30 years now. And I have boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff that I do kind of need to slim down, sort out a little bit. Some of it, to be honest, is just junk. So I do need to have a bit of a clear out. So the way I'm doing that is I'm trying to finish as many projects as possible that I've got on my job list, which is quite a lot, to be honest. So I'm going to be using as many of those parts to create either things like this, bases that I can use, or even bases that I can just stockpile, or then just create a nice selection of models that I can then work on and so on. So let's get plenty of glue on the bottom of this one. I mean, ideally I should use a thicker plastic glue for this, but I haven't got one readily available right now. But this thin glue does dry quite quickly when you're using it. Oh, let's put that on the camera so you can see it. And what I'll do is when these are finished, rather than try and stick the models to it straight away, I'll let them dry before I work out whether I'm going to drill and pin them to it. And I'll put some photos at the very end of them in position. But I will, I think, do a video of sculpting detail. Let's try and get this one. Let's hold that in place for a little bit. So as you can see, I'm not really actually kind of spending too much time putting these together. So there's that one. So as an example, we'll have one of these intercessors landing on it, something like that. Okay, let's just put that one to one side, and now I've got the last one. So let's have a little think about this. I think for this one, that's just going to be a line along there like that. There we go. I know there's probably a better way for me to sort the cutting out of these, but I had the tool to hand, so I can't really not use it. I love that tool. It's a lovely little multi-tool. It's the Ryobi one. This is not a sponsored video. I do like my Ryobi, but there are many other fantastic power tools, but when you invest in one battery system, you kind of get hooked into that system completely. Right, let's have a little look at these spare parts that I've got that I might be able to use for in some way. No, I think I'm just going to stick that in. So I'm going to put some blue tack on there already, just to hold that in place while I then flood the base with glue. So I am properly flooding this. Okay, perfect. So here are the three bases. I'm going to zoom out a little bit now. So what I'm looking for with these is the models themselves. Might choose different ones for each model. There we go. The models themselves are going to be either landing on them, taking off, something like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let these dry before I do a little bit of a test fit with the models themselves. I'll put some pictures at the end just so you can see exactly what they look like at the moment. Like I said, I'm going to do another video sculpting the detail on the base, but for now I'm going to call this video. My name's John, thanks for tuning in, and you've been watching War Games, Models and Other Hobbies.